All right, so we should be live now. Okay, we're live. So it's story time. I'm going to tell this story because I know I'm going to have to tell this story several times, right? So we should be live now. Okay, we're live. So it's I know I'm going to have to tell this story several times, so I need to get it out there so I don't have to tell it so many times. I can be like, look, I did a whole video on it. Go check out the video, and you can hear my end of it, right? So it's like, oh, Jerome, he doesn't know what he's doing. I didn't understand. I didn't see any results. These are things that are being said about me that are not true, and that can't be proven, right? So I'm a person. I like to prove, right? I have results. I have data. I have statistics, right? You understand? I'm a bottom line person. When I always do my presentations, I tell you who I am. I'm bottom line. I care about results, and guess what? So it means I'm high in D, like high in dominance and decisions. Then I'm also high in the C, which means I'm very detailed, right? So most of what I do, you get both of those things. That makes me like what I'm really good at, implementation. So I like to talk about marketing implementation, right? So I have some points that I'm going to talk about, and you'll see them in the description. I'm going to talk about these things because they're relevant to the story. And I'm going to be telling this story. I want to tell this story one time, and I want people to just get my get my perspective and hear from me, right? Because they're hearing from the other person, right? I'm hearing these things being said from the other person's perspective, but not my perspective, right? So I just want to share my perspective. I'm gonna be honest on my experience. Is all that I'm trying to achieve here, right? So I'm gonna do some screen shares and whatnot to just so you can see some stuff. But yeah, let's get started. So yeah. So I talked about that first point. What's being said, Jerome? I don't know. I couldn't see anything. Like these people, this person wanted me to do like all of this stuff for them, basically for free, as if I didn't have a life and I didn't have a family. So let's dive in, right? So first and foremost, one of the things about me, right, like I talked about my high D and my high, is I'm not big on talking about myself, right? It's not about me. It's about what I do per se, right? So again, I don't have any confidence issues or anything like that, but I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to show results, right? So people say, "Why you don't talk about yourself?" Like that stuff doesn't matter, right? Like people always want to know about the stuff that doesn't matter. What matters is what I can do, my results, right? So I'm really like I'm confident in myself, but what I really care about is my results and what I can do, right? And I don't even care about past accomplishments. I care about what I can do and what I'm doing now, right? So even if I do something, I hit that achievement, I don't really care. It's like, all right, what can we do next? So that's the kind of person I am. That's my personality, right? That's just how I am. So I recently hit, and I'm gonna do a live on this too, but I recently hit #1 bestseller on Amazon, right? For my book. So I published a book, and you can get that book. It'll be a link in the description, remarketingbook.com. It teaches you all about marketing implementation and tech for, real estate entrepreneurs. So one of the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you don't do that with luck or because you don't have skills, right? You have to have skills. You have to have a process. You have to know how to do that to do it, right? So my results prove what I'm capable of. Despite what people say, my results prove that, right? So that's why I barely talk about myself because my results can talk for me or do the speaking for me, right? So a little bit of background, like my story. When I first started in real estate, I went out and I was kind of broke. I couldn't really afford a coach or nothing like that. But I did some research online and I found a mentor like on Meetup, right? I found a mentor on Meetup and and he I couldn't afford him at the time. He was charging $3,000 to do some coaching, right? So I had to save up like 2 or 3 years just to get that $3,000 because I was so broke. I always tell people, child support. I had 2 kids at the time, and they were taking child support out my check, and I just could not afford barely anything. I could barely afford to live. I was living with my mom because they were taking so much child support from me. It's very sad the injustice that happens with child support, but that's another story for another time, right? So I finally saved up to 2 to 3 years. I saved up the money and I got the coach and I got the mentor and I started going through with the coaching and the mentorship. And he suggested that I go do some networking events, right? So like I wanted to be a real estate investor, like particularly a wholesaler, and he suggested that I do some networking events, go out and meet people, learn how to network, right? So that's what I did. I started attending these events and I started to meet people to kind of sum it up, right? So After I left his, I guess we can say embrace or his mentor. After I left his mentorship, right? I I continued on. I continued to do the meetups. I continued to try to get involved and meet people and learn what I could learn in the real estate space. And I would be very consistent with attending the meetings. So a lot of times people ask Jerome, how you do this, how you do that. Like one thing about me is I'm very consistent. So I continue to be consistent. And because I was so consistent in showing up to these meetings, was there are like several meetings, right? So there's like a mini meeting, and then you got big meetings. We call them group. We call them subgroups, right? So you have the big main meeting, the main group of the organization, and then you got the smaller groups, right? They can be called focus groups, subgroups. They can be called anything, but they're basically like childs of the big meeting or the big organization. So I attended several of those subgroups, and this leader, the subgroup leader, one of the subgroup leaders continued to see me. He's like, you're pretty consistent. Why don't you help out in running the meetings? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, okay, I'll help out. And at the time, I was working in IT, so I got IT skills. So I'm like, yeah, I'll help with the IT, and I'll help, I guess, manage it or market it or something like that, right? So because I was showing up consistently, he offered me that opportunity. He was like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to run so we had several. There were like a few. He's like, I want you to do the West Philadelphia subgroup, right? That was the name of one of the subgroups. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll be the main or the co-host lead for that subgroup. And that's what we did. Now, I have up a video that I want you to see because it just gives some context, right? So I want you to see this video. And this video, what you're seeing this is the first meeting that I was a subgroup leader of, right? And let me bring up my highlighter. So you see me right there. That's me. That's the handsome gentleman right there is me, right? Then you see this guy. His name is Lawrence. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name either. His name is Butters, Tim. And then the subgroup leader that I'm talking about, he's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 people here, right? And then we got the camera person. The camera person, it makes person number 7, right? The interesting thing about this particular video and this particular slide is that this was like a meeting, right? So this meeting, when I started out helping with this meeting, this is how many people were there. And what's interesting about this is I'm one of the subgroup leaders, so I don't really count, right? This is another subgroup leader, so he doesn't count. This is a subgroup leader, this is a subgroup leader, and this is a subgroup leader. So we have 5 subgroup leaders here, and we have 1 speaker here. So essentially, when you really think about it, there are like 0 people here. When I first started out running this meeting, right? There's nobody here, right? And it's like, all right, come on, Jerome, you're gonna come on board and you're gonna help us with this. And I'm like, sure, I'd be happy to, right? So I helped with that, and a short while after, um, let me see, let me check my notes. Yeah, so I volunteered my skills, and a short while after, like me and the subgroup leader over here that you can't really see, we developed like a pretty decent relationship, and we started to run like some of them together, right? We would do like a tag team, and we would grow these groups. And one of the things that I've realized in hindsight is that this leader, right, he knew what he was good at, and he was really good at promoting right? And promoting is a branch within marketing, right? So once everything is set up, he then can say, hey, do this. Once it's all set up, like the technical behind the scenes, once the event is up, he's really good at promoting. So he was great at that, right? And I've realized that he was great at that. But one of the things that I've realized in our partnership, in our tandem, is that he stayed out of my way, right? He stayed out of my way. So he knew that certain skills, he knew that I had certain skills and he had certain skills, right? And he stayed absolutely out of my way. He didn't say, oh, why don't you do this? He didn't come up, like, he would come up with suggestions and ideas, but he knew what I was good at and he knew what he was good at. He didn't try to infiltrate on my skills and what I was good at, right? So we were really good working together. He didn't get in my way. And the reference that I like to bring up is a book called Traction, right? There's a book called Traction, and within Traction, they talk about the different person business behaviors or business types. And you got basically you got two. You got a visionary and then you got an integrator. A visionary, they have the vision, the overall, the big picture, right? So, and as an example, working with him, he was a visionary, right? And the integrator, they do the work. They put the pieces together, they find out all of the details, and they help build whatever it is, the project, the organization, the business, the event. Integrators do that. So I'm an integrator, he's a visionary. And he understood the things that he were not good at, and he stayed absolutely out of my way. Right? So that's how, and because we worked so well together and we understood each other that way, we were able to grow these groups. And what's one of the things that we did? We grew this particular group with our, it's got 7 people here, but again, remember, most of them are subgroup leaders, right? We grew this group to the largest subgroup for that organization. The largest one, right? It was the most popular, it had the most attendance. We grew it to that, right? That's how. And one, the way we grew that was through my integration and my implementation, right? Again, I want to reiterate, he stayed out of my way. He stayed out of my way. He didn't he stayed out of my way. So it's really good. Like, if you don't understand what that means, Traction is a good book to read to understand that concept, right? Integrators, they just want to work. Get out of their way. Don't come with the emotions and the feelings. Give them a project and let them go to work. Don't get in their way. So I'm mentioning that because I was working with this other particular person that said, oh, I don't know, I can't prove the results. They said this stuff about me. That person didn't stay out of my way. That person constantly got in my way, and that person constantly gave me resistance, right? And that person didn't let me thrive in the environment that I needed to be in, right? They didn't give me the tools, the resources, and the environment that I need so I can actually work. So, additionally, this person, right, when we were building these things together, this person kind of put us against each other in a way, right? This person put us against each other. And one particular story that I'm thinking about is I was like, we were doing so well because of, and I'm not trying to brag about me, but we were doing so well because of my integration and my implementation that the groups were growing. And the person offered me a position on the board, right? On the board. And I was like, sure, I took the position, but then we had a meeting because there were some things going on, some rules that we weren't following in regards to doing the subgroups, right? When the person, when the person, when we had the meeting, this person like gave me like a shirt, right? Like so when I got elected, I was given like, they gave me like a shirt. And what this person did was they grabbed the shirt, and the shirt said board member. The shirt said board member, and this person gave me the shirt in front of the other subgroup leader to kind of put us against each other or make that subgroup leader feel like less than, kind of. And at the time, I was like, I felt really, it wasn't right, and I was like, that wasn't really right, and I didn't address it because maybe I was excited about the position or something like that. But I was wrong for not addressing that or saying that I didn't feel comfortable with how that was handled. But that person did that. That's how that was. And it just speaks to the character of that person in a way. Right. So next, I just want to talk about like all of this integration in these things that we were doing was all free. Right. It was all free. I was doing this stuff for free. I was volunteering. Right. And the person was paid. That person was paid, so that person didn't mind spending time and doing all of these things, right? That person didn't mind. Meanwhile, remember I told y'all in the beginning, I had 2 kids, right? So I had the child support, right? But at this time, I had children. I had a family. I got to take care of my family. So you want me to continue to do this stuff for absolutely $0, right? You want me to keep doing this for $0, and you don't want to pay me, despite the fact that the organization has enough money to pay me, right? So this person was in the way and just kept blocking opportunities and wanting me to continue to attribute my skills and expertise for $0, right? And we would have conversations about me possibly being paid sometimes, but this person would get in the way, and this person was jealous. This person was jealous, right? So those things that are being said, oh, I don't know, I can't see the results, I don't know what he was doing, uh, it's false information. It's false information, and I can prove that it's false information, right? Because remember, I told you I'm high in D, decisions and dominance, but I'm also high in C, right? So I was very particular in making suggestions, coming up with processes, coming up with systems, right? And one of the things that I've done, that I do, and all of my things, is I do video demonstrations. So I would do those. Right, that's an example. I have plenty of those to showcase. Right, another thing that I do, I'm very detailed. I put down everything that I'm going to do. I came up with very complex and detailed plans, word for word, step by step. This is what we should do. This is how we do it. This is how much this costs. This budget will go towards that. I came up with all of that, and guess what? Guess how much I charged for it? Zero. Zero. Didn't charge for it, right? And I was being promised to be paid for 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years, yeah, we're gonna find a way to make it happen and pay you. And it never happened. Every time we had a conversation, okay, well, we need a proposal. We need to see how you're going to do this, right? And it's like I've done that already. I've done that, right? And the to add insult to injury, what there was another company that charged double my rate, and they didn't improve the results. However, they still paid. That company was still paid. So it was just insulting. And I'm just sharing my story because I'm tired of hearing these things being said about me and my story not being shared, right? So again, like I would waste my time putting together those very detailed proposals, and it just wasn't fair. Like I could prove, I'm very specific. I prove my results and I showcase everything. I'm very vulnerable, very transparent. Next, this person barely participated in the important events, important integral events, right? The stuff that matter. They rarely participated in the implementation. It's time to implement. Let's do something, right? You do something, at least you're paid. I'm not paid and I'm still doing stuff. I would participate. I would be active. I would show up to the meetings that matter. I would show up, right? This person did not show up. Next, so I mentioned like the other subgroup leader, right? And how he stayed out of my way. Well, this person, right, that said, oh, I don't know, I can't, Jerome, his results. This person always was in my way. Always in my way. Please let me do the work. Get out of my way. This person just had a resistance all the time, always had objections, always so much. And again, I'm bringing this up because my results speak for themselves, right? And I'm talking about the Amazon, like, look, I hit bestseller, right? And I hit bestseller because I know what I'm doing. It wasn't just luck. I know how to implement marketing. I know how to implement tech. It's not just luck. It's not just luck. I know how to implement advertising. It wasn't just luck that I achieve what I achieve in that amount of time. So ultimately, though, and it sounds very negative, but I really, really appreciate this person, that person that gave me so much resistance, that that are saying these things about me, that all of these things that seem like negative, I really, really appreciate. I really, really appreciate because it inspired me to go and start to do my own thing, right? To stop asking for permission to go do what I wanted to do. It's like, all right, Jerome, if you can do all of that, go do it for yourself, right? That's what I said to myself, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm having fun, I'm having success, and it's so fun, it's so gratifying, right? To not have to ask for permission or not have somebody constantly stepping on your toes and telling you, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do this. Well, maybe we need to check here. Maybe no, just let me work, stay out of my way. Give me what I need and stay out of my way. And I don't have to ask for that permission anymore. So I'm really grateful for this person. I really, really appreciate this person doing those things because it allowed me to create something. It allowed me to create something, right? So this wasn't just a venting session. This was like, we can turn anything into opportunity, is what I want you to see here. Like, I turned that into an opportunity. This person is like, I'm just gonna say it straight up. This person is talking about me behind my back, slandering me and saying things that are incorrect. And I appreciate it because it gives me fuel to show my results, right? It lets me prove that what I do works. It doesn't matter what I say or you say. Let's see the results. Prove it. Factual. And that's what I'm doing in my business and in my results. I'm showing that what I do works, right? I'm showing that what I do and what I offer my clients deserves to be, I bring value and I deserve to be paid for that value. I'm showing it every day. I'm living by it, right? I'm living by it. So I'm turning that negative into a positive. Again, I'm not, it's not airy fairy or nothing like that. I'm really grateful for this person because it allowed me to become and start to build something else, right? I really, really appreciate that person. So one of the things that I noticed, right, and I want to talk about is that results come from implementation. So no matter what theory and how we're thinking about and trying to figure stuff out, success comes from the implementation. Success comes from the implementation. And again, what you see, this is my book. You might not be able to see it. Give me 1 second. This is my book. This is my book, right? Insider Secrets of Successful Advertising, Lead Generation, and Marketing Implementation, right? For real estate entrepreneurs. When I update the cover, I'm going to make sure I underline implementation because that's the key is implementation. Like we understand the theories and we understand we understand the theories and what we have to do if we want to have success, and not just marketing success, right? Business success, relationship success, whatever kind of success you want, you got to implement. You need that implementation. So that's a key to success. And if you want to learn implementation, right? What better thing to do than to go purchase this book, right? If you want to learn marketing implementation, lead generation implementation, advertising implementation, go grab yourself one of these books. Right now, it's on Amazon for we're running a special on it, so you can get the Amazon, the Kindle version for free right now on Amazon. So go over there, head over to Amazon, grab your copy. If you want the physical copy with all of the bonuses, you'll see on the website at remarketingbook.com. You can just visit that website, remarketingbook.com, and the this physical version comes with a. If you do it through remarketingbook.com, you will get a newsletter. We send you an annual subscription of our newsletter. We're going to send you some other bonus items. We send you a lead generation report. We send you 11 social media mistakes. We send you the report on what you need to know about lead generation and just a bunch of other bonus items, right? So if you're interested in those bonus items, go to remarketingbook.com. If you just want the book, you can check out Amazon. You can get the paperback, you can get the Kindle, or you can get the hardcover, which I have here too, right? So because again, I just want to reiterate, because I don't have anybody standing in my way, I'm able to really, really implement really fast. Really, really fast. Right? So I just wanted to share that. And if you want to learn marketing and marketing implementation, just go check out the book. #1 seller, right? Because I'm lucky and I don't know what I'm doing, right? #1 seller. Check out that book, and it's got plenty of tools, plenty of resources, and it's going to teach you how you can do marketing implementation in your business, right? Let me see. What else do we got? Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have for you. Go get the book. Remarketing, real estate marketing, insider secrets of successful advertising, lead generation, and marketing implementation for real estate entrepreneurs. So I appreciate you watching. If you want to get in touch with me, I usually keep my contact information available somewhere. But yeah, go out there, get that book, Marketing Implementation. You won't regret it. We offer a money back guarantee, right? We offer a guarantee on our stuff because that's how confident we are. That's how confident we are in what it is that we do here. We are about results. So I'm signing off. I just wanted to tell that story. I'm going to have to, I'm getting tired of telling that story to different people. So I wanted to make this video. And whenever I need to tell this story, people can watch this video. All right. So I am signing off.
Able to at least coordinate where our soffit